Entering play, slay. Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing with Yarok the Desecrated. Doubles up triggers based on things entering the battlefield, which works for landfall. It works for a lot of different ETBs that help you ramp or get you value from the graveyard of the battlefield, or even removal. Cards like Massacre Worm, River, Regent, and my personal favorite, Speed Brood Stalker. Yarok the Desecrated also works with newer Enter the Battlefield cards that help you search out specific creatures. And of course, you can use this to get even more if you feel like playing with clones like Phantasmal Image. This deck was built for Brand Domino, who's one of the big dog members on our channel, who specifically requested Yarok with a bit of crime. And don't you worry, this deck has a little bit of crime to it. But if you want to add more crime to this deck, Yarok is extremely flexible. I decided to go for a mostly landfall theme within this deck, but you can also add in cards like Crabomination, or you can just stick with a couple of the good exile and steal cards like Azula. And of course, you can double up your graveyard hate with your crime with cards like Emperor of Bones. It's not an Enter the Battlefield trigger, but it can set up for some good Enter the Battlefield triggers. This deck is also taking advantage of the fact that we are in Sultai and doing a little bit of graveyard stuff, because it's a great excuse to run one of my favorite cards, Jet Collector. Yes, there's a lot of digital-only cards in these colors that are super fun and great to double. So let's take Yarok into the queue and double down on our triggered abilities. Tyvar, Jubilant, Brawler. Holla holla, get Brawler. They're going to be tapping their creatures for all their abilities on the turn that they enter, mostly mana abilities. This is one of those very scary elf ball commanders. You play it, you can tap your creatures for mana, you can tap them for their various searching abilities. There's a lot you can do with this Tyvar that can end the game very fast, and also sometimes just end the game through, well, the power that is Greater Hoof Behemoth. Like many elf ball decks. Gotta make sure I get some green and blue. Arboreal Grazer, get in the garbage. Confounding Conundrum, if they have some fetches, it'll make them a little worse to use. But they have extra mana here, since I do have this Verdant Catacombs in the graveyard. Noted Elf Crater Hoof Behemoth. Kin to elves. Kin to elves. Confounding Conundrum is in this deck for multiple reasons. It is not just landfall hate. In this deck, it actually has a doubled ability. If your opponent has 2 lands enter in one turn, they have to bounce 2 lands back into their hand, which is like net less lands. It's gross. And hopefully get another fetch here. I did not, so now I do not have the ability to go for the Wary Zone Guard play. That's okay, I'll play a Provisioner instead. He's tireless.
I always have reinforcements.
You don't like that they have the genetically modified Tyvar? Yeah, this is the alt art from when we weren't sure which creature would, or which planeswalker was going to be Phyrexianized. Turns out this one. I'll offer you a trade, both your elves, to save your Fraileys. Or just chump block with one, that works too. Okay, no, they're letting me hit both. That's great. They're changing their mind? Yeah, this Fraileys can untap their elves, which gives them even more mana. It also can seek elves, getting you a random elf out of your deck. Yes, they made Phyrexian alt arts of all 10 walkers, but only half of them were like canon. They just showed us the Phyrexian arts first.
Let's make it a fight to
And unfortunately, of those Phyrexianized planeswalkers, not enough of them died. I wanted more of them to die. All right, so they have 2 floating mana. They can tap for 2 more, maybe more than that. And with Fraileys, they can untap this again. Also champions of the perfect. It's a big boy. Very big. You're happy Johnny is alive? He was completed. Completed a Johnny is cool. Alright, let's see. Yarok. I can't play Yarok this turn. I'm gonna go for Yarok. Hit the Numa. Treasure. 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 I am going to pay 2 to make a copy. I'm not going to pay 2 on the second one, though, because I need that mana for Topiary Stomper. This is going to get me a land. Bring it in tapped. 2 lands, which should be 6 more mana. Maybe more. Yeah, treasure, 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 clone. Treasure, treasure, clone. We get the other land from Topiary Stomper. Treasures, 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 treasures. We're going to be going for the extra turn here. Yeah. I can afford more Tireless Provisioners, so I'll take them. Doubling up triggers is terrifying. I don't have a good attack this turn. I can still play Wary Zone Guard, by the way, with, like, no lands to bring back. There's just not really a reason to. Nope. Go to this turn. Look at that. A land. Okay, they're leaving. They know I'm about to get all the mana I could ever want and start swinging all willy-nilly with my clones of Tireless Provisioner. Corvold, Fakehurst King, going to be doing lots of sacrificing, drawing cards, and making a gigantic dragon. Hi, Corvold. I think you're cool. There's going to be a lot of things that, like, enter the battlefield and get used up. And also, treasures. Treasures are great with Corvold. I would like more lands. I'm currently not able to play these on turn 2. That's fine. I can still, like, throw down the Deathcap Blade. Probably should have led with that. I didn't realize it at the start. Ooh, Moonshadow. Sacrificing things, putting permanent cards into their graveyard. Gonna make this baddie grow. It's a 1-mana 7/7 with Menace. Except it isn't. Until it is! This is a vintage 2020 Brawl matchup. It really is. 2019? No, 2020. Gonna make them baddies grow. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're both solid 5-mana commanders. Got a lot of synergy. Always just get more and better stuff. It's one of the things that's, like, so cool about it. Hello, one Lotus Cobra. Bring out Ambassador of Invendo. I'm gonna hopefully line up some landfalls in the future to grab me some lands that draw me some cards. Moonshadow grows. Gosh, these fetch lands are delectable with Moonshadow. Here comes Corvold. Gonna munch up the Grazer. Oh, are they eating the oven? Okay, so they're going for... They put full control mode on. They eat the Grazer with the oven. Then the oven makes a snack, and Corvold eats the snack and says, mmm, sloth pie. Take a hit. Oof. I'm trying to think if I... survive long enough to not use removal this turn. I don't think so. I'm gonna bring out the Bouncer while I have that mana afloatin'. I'm gonna throw Corvold back into their hand. Then, before they can get priority, just making sure I'm flicker flacker. Throw that back. So these now cost more. I've reset the counters on the Moon Shadow. It did take a blink, but next turn I can bounce even more things. And bouncing things is a really good way to slow your opponents down. Though they'll still be able to like enter and draw cards once they can afford their slightly taxed Corvold. Thank you, Nightclub Bouncer. What a good jelly. Ooh, Overlord. I actually took out most of the cards that get rid of enchantments when they enter. I still have this, though. It exiles. It's good. Sometimes you need exiling removal. And here it is. Moon Shadow. Coming back. Back to being a 1/1, though. If they played it before Overlord, it could have grown. Would like black mana. I do not like this. Yep, I wouldn't either. Celeste, Rune Knight. Just got a sweet new addition with, some Persist. Anything that has Persist has the potential to go infinite with Celeste as long as you have a free sacrifice outlet, of which there are many. Now, I have a little Graveyard Hate in hand, my favorite Graveyard Hate for many different decks, especially decks with Enter the Battlefield stuff. So I am absolutely keeping this, and I'm going to try to take those cards out of their graveyard before they can make them grow. Celeste is drawing, discarding, or I should say discarding and then drawing, and growing your creatures as creatures are reanimated. Nice. An elegant parlor. What do you find? Ooh, clones. People of the Mirror Breaker goes into their graveyard. That's another, like, draw discard. A Thoughtseize? No, my thoughts! My bones. I feel like they'll hit Emperor of Bones here, but they might not. Nope. They know what's up. I do have some ways to bring things back from the graveyard in this deck, since, you know, Sultai. But not that many. Nissa. I will keep the Nissa on top. I think that will be good with my combination of cuties here. Go for the Badger Mole. Animate an island. Badger Mole Club, by the way, I was trying to find, like, 2 mana Enter the Battlefield themed ramp cards. And this was one of the only ones I could find. Aww. Me cub. Now that one's heartbreaking. Looks like they're hitting my graveyard here. Oh, they're reanimating from my graveyard. Hey, wait. That's my Mr. Bones. I'm gonna name Elemental. With a Wary Zone Guard. Grab the Windswept Heath out of my graveyard. Pass the turn. If they'd like to, they could bring out the Badger Mole Cub. It would only be temporary, but they would get to bend. I also ran into a Celeste recently that was running like the Arden Ulamog duo and just tons of reanimation cards and like all the buried alive effects. Okay, here comes Celeste. Celeste is discarding 1, 2, 3. All 3 cards. Pyrogoyf. That's scary. Ashen Rider. Also scary. And the Buried Alive. Hey, I was mentioning you had Buried Alive effects in your deck. Now, Emperor of Bones, I think they're going to hit Ashen Rider. Something terrifying about Ashen Rider is it can hit lands. I need to get rid of Mr. Bones. I bet I can find a way. Maybe. There's a way. All right, if I do this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Nissa. Scalding Tarn. gonna go through a whole bunch of fetching here. Speed Brute Stalker, we're getting rid of Emperor of Bones. Again, that's my Emperor. That's my Mr. Bones. Okay, they chose their commander to get rid of 2. Thank goodness. And we swing in with the Zone Guard. We're going to bring back a fetch land. I can play Ambassador of Avendo, Deathrite Shaman, post-combat, or maybe Uro, going for draws. I'm set up on board, one of their scary things is gone, and Mr. Bones is back in my grave. Love to see it. Vivi! Spell slinging, burning my face, causing me trouble, and very importantly, changed for digital only. Alright, so I'm gonna mulligan here, some very nice cards, but a little too slow. Love to see turn 1 ramp, I'll keep that. Might die to a bolt, but that's fine. This Vivi has to tap to generate mana. That is the difference between it and the paper version of the card. And it means that it is a little bit different which cards go best with it. You can now go infinite with like Staff of Domination. You have cards that are able to untap it when you cast spells, like Paradox Engine, which, yeah, it's legal in this format. There's a lot of good stuff here. All right, I think just go for the Overlord. Hoping that I can go, like, Yarok into Wistfulness, and maybe I'll have some targets for it. You like the new Evoke critters? Me too! Ooh, Singing Bellstrike. Interesting. So they have this in their deck as removal that they could also use to combo with their commander. Oh, that's cheeky. I'll just use the Wistfulness now, I guess. And get rid of that? Do I care enough? It's like, I'd love to have this stick around. No, oh, man. Decisions. Okay, so I should have done this in the other order. I'm going to turn this into a discard on demand engine with the Springheart and Nantuko. No, it wouldn't have made a difference. It's cute. Yeah. Yeah, as long as they can get Vivi up to 6 power, this is an upside. Or I guess 7 power. You must discard. But which card? Okay, yeah, happy to see that gone. Hopefully you do not cast it for free from your graveyard. At least it would be a couple turns. Do you have a free spell? Very important, if you subtlety this, it won't work. Okay, Force of Negation does work. Subtlety, because it's like in aura mode, it means it's just gone. By the way, if you were to counter this as an aura... So sad. Bringing out Yarok. Or maybe not. Maybe it's more counter magic. Squash away. All right. Not discard that card. This is almost a creature, which I'm very happy about. Yeah, I feel like the evoke creatures, because like they're also elementals, is such a great excuse to revisit Yarok. I assume that's actually why the brand Domino had requested this, was like, hey, we got cool new elementals. They mentioned they wanted to see crime in it, but I'm here for the elementals. I'm gonna go for the greens and the blues, holding this in hand in case it's what I want to discard. Hitting that Singing Bellstrike. Drawing, and I'm going to discard the Signet. Keeping the land instead. Swing with the Acquisitions Expert. Nice. And now you're a dude! If I get board wiped, I get board wiped. who's a singing Bellsprout. Aw, I like Bellsprout. That's a cute Pokemon. Swing in, get lands. See if they have another 1 mana counterspell or other piece of removal here. They didn't. That's good. So Yarok's now in play. Aw, Victory Bell that does Screamo Rock. How do you put a wig on a Victory Bell? Is it like on the little flap? Because it has to have the hair. They're consulting the star charts. Vivi's got 1 power now. It's on the end of the little leaf vine. Aww. It's almost Pokemon Day. Or when like this video comes out, it might be Pokemon Day. No, it's like at the end of the month. Happy almost Pokemon Day, everyone. It's like the 30th year since Pokemon came out. Like the original Game Boy game. I need to surveil. I don't have a guaranteed lethal here. I don't have any removal for this guy. Oh, okay, wait. They're making Vivi grow. You doing something with the 3 mana? Are you stifling this? I'm not casting a spell. Yeah, untapped spells get very funny with this Vivi. What you got there? Ooh, okay, so they're going for Wanshi Tong, so they draw a card on me doing this. Okay, great. I get to double surveil. Thank you, Yarok. Mossborn Hydra. Yeah, keep that on top. That feels like a very nice threat with what I got here. I will play it. I'm going to play a land. I'm going to swing in with all these baddies. Mossborn Hydra, looking pretty scary here. But I'm not dealing lethal off the rest of these creatures, am I? Oh, I am! Oh, look at that. Math is for blockers. Fire Lord Azula. Going to double up spells that they cast during combat, which can be things with flash, kill spells, draw spells, spells that make you treasures. I'm going to mulligan here, looking for some earlier spells. I'll take that Arboreal Grazer, even though right now I'm kind of missing extra mana. There we go. Now, do I want to start with the forest? Yeah, I'll start with the forest. I'm just trying to decide, like, do I want to set up for the Deceit without having to fetch on the second turn versus fetching on the first turn? This leaves me open to if I want to do the blue side or the black side. Ooh, I like that. Badgermole Cub. Now, Badgermole, I can either use this to get additional mana, or I can use it to get an additional land. And I'm actually going to just go for I am a landfall deck at the core of this. So I'm gonna bend it. They're bursting it. I don't care, because again, I'm not using this for mana. I'm using this for landfall. I'm just gonna do this now. Whee! Oh, my beloved. I love Risen Reef. I think I've made it very clear how I feel about this card. I love it. One of my favorite cards to like play going into Yarok too. I'll let Azula attack because I have a Risen Reef. Is that the wrong move tactically? Letting her attack ever? when I have multiple ways that I could have interrupted it? Absolutely. Do I care? No, I want Risen Reef. I know what I'm here for. All right, so Azula comes in. She is discarding and drawing. She's abandoning her boots, her attachment to her sweet, sweet boots. What other attachments are you abandoning? Oh, her toxic nature. No, I don't think she's doing that. No, they're flicking a coin at Risen Reef. Oh, the tragedy. You've hurt me, Azula. I want you to know that. They have 3 mana up. I will block with the Grazer, sure. Girl, not the shoes. You love those shoes. Just like right at her. Make sure I get double black. It is extremely tempting to just be like, I clone you. I'm gonna try to go for Speed Brood, though. I love this card. Speed Brood Stalker. It's like a funky kill spell. If I had 1 more mana, like Deceit, bouncing her back in the hand and making her discard it would be cool. Oh, they're Pacting. So that's going to give them a lot less mana to work with next turn. But again, they still get 2 mana when they swing in with Azula. So they'll have 5. Nice. Azula girl, you crazy. And also, like, if I play Yarok, it will kind of pressure them into, like, having to deal with it before swinging in, because they have to block. Frantic Search, this is great. It is just kind of, like, filtering out their hand, saying, these are not the cards I want. Yeah, counter spells and kill spells, especially black spells against this. And now they get to untap and retap and twiddle and fiddle. Seething Song. What are you doing with all that mana? You got an Electric Dominance in there? I kind of hope you do. Ooh, they're tutoring. Double tutor. I feel like they can kill me this turn with the right doubled up burn spells. It doesn't matter what they searched with on the first one, though, right? Fists of Flame or anything that's doubling power, I think will be really good. Nice. How many cards have they drawn? Like 7? Does it say? Cool. Magma Opus draws you even more cards. They're super tapping. Oof, ow. Remember, they paid 5 at the start of their turn, too. And here's Azula going for the kill. Girl, remember your boots. GG. Marilyn, Fae Ascendant. She'll be stealing cards from my deck, but it's only based on having fairies and elves enter, and having more fairies or elves, or the same number of fairies and elves, as the mana value of the card they're stealing. Yeah, it's strange. She's very, like, limiting in what she does, but she does it pretty well. Nice, a Deathrite Shaman. I guess I could have scammed the Grief. Maybe I'll do that next turn. Oh, this horrible old man. Hello, Deathrite Shaman. Naming elf in a deck with elves in it? I'd believe it. I can ramp or I can scam. I have multiple ways I could scam. Like, I could saw in half, dropping the Risco. I think I should just ramp this turn. I'll grab some blue stuff. More blue stuff. Yeah, gotta ramp up to Yarok. Yarok, why do you cost so much? It's a dinosaur. Do you like it? Do you like my dinosaur? Gwyn's Elite will get them 2 more elves, which will be 2 more mana, fully refunding itself. They can also grab a mana from my graveyard, so they can play Marilyn this turn. And then we can see what they steal! Who knows, maybe they'll hit 2 lands. Certainly seen that happen to me and others. Oh, no, they got Binding the Old Gods. I don't have great targets for it, but it will give them a land next turn. Now, what am I going for here? This old man. Let's put full control mode on. By the way, they like fixed certain priority holds and then they like unfixed them. So I'm gonna wait until this resolves. Seeing what they have. Crippling Fear, Paradise Druid. Okay. I am going to flicker this.
My cabbages!
His cabbages! They'll still get to steal. You love stealing. If you're anything like me, you love stealing. Look at all the mana you have. You got 5 over there, 5 over here. Is there land in the graveyard right now? There might be. Yep, there is. A Druid. And they hit 2 lands. Yeah, Maryland can't play stolen lands. Block with the Grazer. All this mana and nothing to do with it. Yeah, Deathrite Shaman will be able to like munch up cards from my graveyard too, which is tough. Since I would say that there is like 3 or 4 cards in my deck that are graveyard related. I actually took one out to just add more blinky stinky stuff. More skidamarinky blinky blinks. Nice Death Touch. What'd you get? Vanquisher's Banner! Nice! Going to grow your elves and make it so when you cast an elf, you draw a card. There's a new Vanquisher's Banner. I want to say it's like just straight up better. Maybe it like costs 1 more. Okay, they're leaving the mana dorks behind. I will trade Grief into Paradise Druid. Take the rest. Oh, there's one that costs 6 mana from ECL. Okay, so it costs 1 more, but I think it like also gives like +2 in like First Strike. We get a double Surveil. Let's see what we get. Not what I want. I do not want to land. What do I get? It's another land. Wow, sure is lands around here. Oh, Springheart Nentago. I will throw this onto Rusco. Yes, his clones will die, but, like, they'll make clocks. I'm gonna swing in with Yarok. Yeah, now lands equal clock. And I'll just do this, so it doesn't ask me to do it more. That's right, Shaman, you draining my life? Hit Essence Flux. He gets to die repeatedly. Yeah, I'm so down with the thing that murders him over and over again. Tireless Provisioner. It's an elf. They're gonna steal, and they find... Wistfulness. Well, it is a free 6/5, but it will not get the enter the battlefields. Reflections of Lityara. They will draw a lot of cards when they attack in with elves. Or is it... Oh, it's just when they cast it, they get double. Yeah, they're definitely on the elf ball side of things. You do not have the choice of casting this for mana off, Marilyn. So I don't have to worry about, like, this or this being exiled. Oh, they chose elemental so they would get 2 6/5s. Okay. Hey, Thassa. I might actually knock that off of Risco. Blink him. That lets me tap things. Yeah, Marilyn's just like doing the beatdown in the air right now. Ding. Bong. I feel like tapping Priest to try to reduce their mana next turn is like... Ugh. It's like, it reduces their mana, but I don't think by enough. I think I'm hitting Marilyn off this. Wonder if they just drew a land. Yep. Tap Marilyn. Because y'all do not have reach. Oh, are they going with everyone? Okay. Priest. You. This and that. Go to 7. Thank you, Lifelink. I love you, Lifelink. They have significantly fewer elves now, too, which is nice. What do you have? A lot of these elf supporting spells. But where's the elves? You know they're gonna hit them and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They just keep going. Do I care about Thassa or Taffy over here? Not that much. I'm actually going to make it midnight on this first midnight clock. Get myself a fresh hot hand. Ooh, the Chomper. All right, let's start with Ambassador of Avendo. Get those landfall triggers. Chomping and clomping. I'll destroy Vanquisher's banner. This is naming elemental. I'm gonna hit Urza's incubator. There you are, cabbages indeed. Voids. It can block. I get to swing in, and I will. Actually, all 3 of you are swinging in. Yeah, I think Incubator is not something I would run in Elves, just because most Elves are very cheap or generate mana on their own. And same as before, I'll be blinking Risco. For more clocks. And with the bing bong, Risco. Oh my god, somebody just pointed out that the reason this cost 1 mana was because of the incubator. Because this is symmetrical. I forgot that's a symmetrical card. I just kind of accepted like, oh yeah, I have enough mana for this. So, here's something kind of rough. The champion cards, if you counter them, the card you championed with is just gone. Just gone. Johnny Nakat Pariah is going to be, well, summoning his brother and then sacrificing him. Killing him so he can transform and become a really nasty planeswalker that burns you right in the face. Now, I could also be killing the brother, but they just do it. I don't have to. this is ramp, but only if we get something in the graveyard for it. Here's Johnny. Guide of Souls, going to get them some energy, going to get them some life. We be leafin', we be leapin'. And they might play a red spell to sacrifice the brother this turn, whether it's a Goblin Bombardment or... Okay, well, it was Goblin Bombardment. Now they have a red permanent, so they can use this to kill this, transforming this, then activating it and killing my Deathrite Shaman. And what can I do about it? The answer? Pretty much nothing, because this Johnny is cracked. Should it be allowed as your commander? Absolutely not. Seriously, it's ridiculous of a card, and it's one of those things where, like, this got banned, like, the same time as Nadu did in Duel Commander for a really good reason. Because it's not okay. Like, this card is absurd. Let's see. I have... I probably need to set up to do the land stuff here, which would mean using Kami. Formidable Speaker will be able to get me the things that can take out a Planeswalker. But it's a problem since, like, we're kind of far from it. We would need the mana for it, and we need to survive long enough to do it. Hi, Skrelv. Gonna protect them. Ban list, Brawl, no changes. Yep. Oh, hey, Maddening Hex. I actually don't have that many non-creature spells, because I like to build around creatures. Johnny's just gonna burn us out in a couple turns, though, which is tough. Yeah, it's not gonna be what I need here. I'll play the Ice Till, which should just be able to draw a little bit of damage to itself. I'm actually going to play this on this side. I could die this turn, for sure. Because they take out my blocker without having to use a Johnny. Then they have all this damage. They also have this damage. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yeah, very, very dead. Not gonna say it's a good game. I don't think anybody should have to match into this, but especially not a 5-mana commander. Yeah, let it play with the other aggro decks. Let it go feast upon Raphelos's. Ketramos, the New Dawn. We'll be exiling things from play, from graveyards, and drawing cards as they do. In this hand, I've got some graveyard stuff, which unfortunately is very vulnerable to Ketramos doing Ketramos things. But I still like this hand. It has a way to kill Ketramos by forcing them to sacrifice him. I have Nashi to make copies of things from graveyard, and look at that, I just top-decked a little bit of ramp, too. Some ETB ramp. We are going to throw down a Watery Grave. So I have 3 mana next turn. Not that I have anything I'm really doing on 3 mana, but, like, if I do, I'll be ready. We impend. And find... Wow, I completely whiffed. No creatures in the graveyard. Here comes Ketramos. And I could make my own Ketramos. It would be sacrificey, though. I think I'm gonna go for the Nashi instead. You do, like, Nashi Essence Flux to just, like, loop it for 1. And once you double it to enter the battlefield, you'll be bringing back 2 spells. That's part of why it's so nice with Yarok. Oh, you recognize me from YouTube Magic videos? I have many lovely friends who invite me to play Magic with them. It's really rad. Trying to dodge board wipes by playing this in end step. And this does not target something in graveyard. It makes a secret copy. Though I'll say it's kind of obvious what I'm taking. It's going to be Essence Flux, so if they want to, they could preemptively remove it from my graveyard if they have Graveyard Hate. If they have some Graveyard Hate, do ya? No, what they haven't said is actually removal for the Nashi. I don't believe I had a reanimation spell here. I don't have 1 mana for the Flux, so Nashi is going to make a copy of Nashi. Don't worry about it. This thing having the ward is so obnoxious. Like, dog, why are you like that? Now, if they, like, fully exile my graveyard here, they would get to draw a card, and he will almost be ready to attack and block. Hey. Horrible design. Shouldn't have given him Flash. He didn't used to have Flash. Gutzil's Flanker. They can exile my entire graveyard, so he has nothing to bring back. Also, draws them a card because it is their turn. My graveyard, no! Now Nashi will bring back nothing. So painful. Do I want to steal? Do I want to just, like, Yarok and set up? It's one of those things where, like, I feel like if I put my commander into play, they're just going to wipe the board. I'm gonna go for Speed Brute Stalker. Was that a wrench on this turn? Is this getting reprieved? Tithed? What's the vibe? Anything? Nothing? I know you got something at instant speed. Some Ketramos decks also run a good amount of Blink. I imagine this one is not one. Alright, so they get to choose something to sacrifice, I get to choose something to sacrifice, and if it's the same thing, only one creature dies. And if they're different, they both die. So, mind games. Do I pick the big thing or the little thing? Or do you flash out something else? I'm gonna go for Ketramos. They're like, oh, but what if she tried to double up the spooky and it hits the flanker? No, I hit the Ketramos. I don't have that much removal that's going to be able to get rid of it, so we get rid of it there. This admittedly can get rid of it, but temporarily. And not as dramatically. So we got 5 mana, maybe a 6th. And a replaying Ketramos. No board wipe this turn. Didn't get a land either. I can hold up a counter spell through Urtai. I could also Phantasmal Image on my Speed Brute Stalker and make these die again. I'm gonna wrench. I want to steal. Okay, board wipe, Sholdred, board wipe, exile, kill. I'm gonna go Sholdred. I can't transform it, but it's still good. And Temple of Silence. Give me that scry. That's Scrylance. Oh. Worm? This is, by the way, a card in exile. Ketramos does see it. I think they're probably waiting to board wipe for when this became a creature. So I could have, again, I could have held the Urtai as a counter critter. It is a counter critter that you can do multiple things. I'm not running the, like, Mystic Snake type cards because I'd rather have cards that can double the trigger and still do something. Though I guess it helps you dodge certain counter spells. Nope, Swords to Plowshares. they will get to draw a card, and Ketramos is now online. But they only have 8 life left. Once they swing in, though, they'll gain 4 more. If they swing in. I don't know, don't you want to block Nashi? Or they could just, like, wipe the board and then swing. Again, Ketramos being indestructible with an Exile sub-theme is so rough. It's alright, dies to Sheldred. Dreams of steel and oil. Yeah, what do you want? I'm not running Force and Negation type cards in this deck. I'm running creatures with Enter the Battlefield abilities because I think they're fun. By the way, you can run non-creatures with this. I just love creatures. And the person who requested this deck requested Crime. So I got some Wrench in there. I thought about Gonti. I got Azula in here. Oh, she's rad. Oh, no! My Speed Brood! They didn't get to see what this was, though. They're down to 4 life now. You swinging or what? Oh. Worm. Yarok watching on the sidelines. Why are we swinging for lethal? I love you, Massacre Worm. Lam, Storm Crane, Elder. We'll be spitting out Monastery Mentors that will be spitting out more monks. I go first. I have this on turn 3. It's gonna be a little slow, but at least it does something. Well, they cast lots of non-creature spells. This is a deck that gets very scary very fast, and even a board wipe might not get through them because it's so easy to sacrifice, well, the Monastery Mentors, or just hold up some mana for a protective spell, your Teferi's Protections and whatnot, to stay alive. Oh, but this is one of those wild designs, because, what do you mean it's only 4 mana? And there's a bunch of, like, Cheerios, like, free spells you can also cast to trigger it. Mana Rocks work, too. Let's Surveil. Oh, I don't need more lands. Aw, hi, Lotus Cobra. Fortunately, I don't have a fetch here, or I would go Lotus Cobra into Frog. Thank you, Lookout. You're a good frog. If they play Lam unprotected, well, first of all, I don't think they would. Like, they would follow up with something, like even a Mox. Then I would try to steal it with Azula, but they would just put it back. Yarok. Hopefully not getting lost. Yeah, I would say that, like, the reason I wouldn't encourage people to, like, rule 0 this into Commander, even though you can totally do it by just making lots of, like, essentially bonus copies of this, is because I don't think it's very well balanced. I do think that it should cost, like, at minimum 5. Alright, so Static Prison, move my commander to command zone, decline, it'll eventually come back, or I could destroy this. Was hoping to get some doubles. It's alright that I don't. Thank you for the Monastery Mentor. I can cast it at instant speed on my turns. Authority. My creatures will be entering tapped and gaining them life. They still have 4 mana up. They don't have any tokens to copy yet. If they cast another spell, they will draw a card and they'll get something to copy. Yeah, I would need to, like, triple block, and even then, there's a whole bunch of, like, 1 mana spells that give you protection. And I would like to know what those spells are. Grief. Well, what are the spells? I want to know. The takedown bringing this immediately to death because casting it caused them to make 2 more creatures? Okay, so I don't get to have a Monastery Mentor. It wouldn't do much for me anyway. Duty Beyond Death. Okay, they all get indestructible and a +1/+1 counter. Remember how I said there's a bunch of, like, you sacrifice a guy and it protects your creatures? All right, Requisition Raid, Sajiri Shelter, and Banishing Light. I think I'll hit Requisition Raid here because I would like to play Overlord. In order to get this Nashi out, I'll need to do it now, but I will, and I can, so I have. I need to go for the fetch. I can go for Zula. I want a Zula! My queen! Yeah, they can cast both of these. They have enough mana. And if they do that, removing 1 blocker... they can just do this after. They will have approximately lethal. Oh, or they get unbreakable formation. Yeah, so when I say, like, the problem with this is its speed, its balance, it is doing too much at too low of a cost. What do you mean that's the boring Azula? What do you mean the boring Azula? What's wrong with you? This is the best Azula card. But I am dead. Lumra, Bellow of the Woods, was actually in this deck, and I took it out. It fits into the Elemental's landfall theme by bringing back all the lands from your graveyard. And there's a bunch of infinite and near infinite loops in their deck by sacrificing their lands, bringing Lumra back, casting her again, letting landfall triggers. Lumra can be terrifying. I have, ooh, very nice. An Arboreal Grazer. Ooh, somebody made a nice suggestion. Yeah, if you had to pay like 1 or 2 mana to make a Monastery Mentor on Lamb, I think that would be a cool way to balance it. It would also make it so, like, just casting, say, like, a Mana Rock wouldn't just get you advanced on the board state. Do I think they'll ever add more than 1v1 in Arena? I don't know if it'll be a separate client, but I know they've been working on it, and I think it's just one of those things where, like, they've been trying, but it's hard. It just requires a ton of work, so, like, eventually we'll get there. Yeah, we're gonna be fetching. We're both running pretty much the same land suite, but they're running more of the graveyard-related land things. Aw, hello, tiny hobbit. Oh, ma'am. I love Risen Reef so much. It was not a land. That's okay. It's okay, Risen Reef. You're gonna find me lands later, especially when I clone you. When I was testing this deck, I think I had one game where I made like 6 copies of Risen Reef and the stack just got so overwhelming that we gave up. Which, that's legit, right? Mill. Lots of lands being milled. Oh, Urtai's good. Urtai can stifle a trigger. And kill a guy. How much mana are they gonna have this turn? Oh, not as much as I would have thought. Tireless Provisioner, getting them a treasure. Ice Till Explorer, bringing back up fetch. Oh no, never mind, here's the mana. Yeah, both of us are getting silly with it, but they have a landfall piece. I don't. Yet. I have Zula, though. Sacrificing lands. Getting some more stuff. Darn, I don't think I can play Yarok this turn. Yeah, I think I need to hit one of these or hit the Lumra. Honestly, I kind of think hitting the Tireless Provisioner is just the right move here. So I will do that. I could wait until they put it on the stack, but they could always play these ahead of time, cycling through. Not an elemental. Stifling the Lumber land return would not be as important as it would normally be because of the Ice Till Explorer being in play. Oh, there's another land, Falla. Holla holla. Alright, 4, 5, 6. So they can play Lumra this turn. And they do. Yeah, I was trying to make sure they wouldn't have this. Haha. But what if I had a thing I could do? I don't. I could, channel that. Put this on half in the grave. You know, it's really funny with the Ice Till Explorer. Need to make sure I have the right amount of mana for what I'm doing. Okay, mill. Temple, hideout. Yeah, Temple's nice with Lotus Field and Nykthos. Also have a Shifting Woodland, so they can grab one of those next turn. Or technically this turn. Yeah, where's my landfall? I'm looking. They have 8 mana still. Is it Command Beacon that you can just infinitely loop Lumra with? I think that's the one. That and something that brings in your lands untapped. Archdruid's Charm. Is that what you're grabbing? They're looking. They're thinking. They're digging. Ah, Ulamog for next turn. Or potentially for this turn, depending on what else they got. No, it looks like it's for next turn. Mill. It was a land. Great. Where the coffee at? Right here. All right, Yarok. Give me them Risen Reef triggers to inform my next move. Okay, Honest Ratstein. Grabbing some critters from my graveyard. Is there really only Leaf Leap Guide? How did I not mill other creatures? That's wild. If you're wondering why I didn't fetch more, I have 13 life. And they're about to have an even nuttier turn. Yes, these landfall mana makers, Lotus Cobra, Tireless Revisioner, Nissa, they're so good. Yarok no longer has abilities. They draw a card. I see that Emrakul in the grave. I wonder why they didn't go for the Emrakul. They just milled that. This is the Stealer Emrakul. I mean, Yarok's abilities is just make the abilities of the other cards in my deck better. So they're going to permanently exile. No, my Reef! You're a monster. My beautiful Risen Reef. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is 12/12 flyer. How much mana do they have left this turn? Do you have trample? No. Good. The other ones. I think the other Emrakuls might have trample. He's just a little guy, Your Honor. He was just a little guy. Azula, take those 2 elves. Put them on the shelves. What else we got? I feel pretty confident about being able to kill me on this next attack. I also don't know what they have in hand. Okay, they're going for it. This is an Emrakul. 2 Eldrazi's swinging my way. I can't block it. I get the top 20 cards exiled. They just feed Appa? Seriously? Right in front of my salad? Do you have a desert? Because if you do, you can kill me right here. Because I did not block with Yarok. Because I wanted big steelies. Can your opponent see when you feed Appa? I actually don't know, but I saw him getting the cabbage right there. I don't think they can see when I click my Chocobo either. Oh, look at him do a little dance. Mm-hmm. Yes, more mana. Yes, more mana. see a rogue's passage over there. You spam it when you're bored between turns. That's what it's there for. Right, Appa? Aww. Okay, they untap Lair. Great. I can evasion of Ikoria. Any of you have reach? No. One, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yes. All right. This is an Enter's effect. I could honestly put this into my deck. All right. The first thing I'm getting. I think it's still there. I didn't see you get exiled. All right. Search my library. Okay. The thing I was looking for actually did get exiled. That's fine. I shouldn't have gone for the Clone Azula because they could interrupt this if they realized what I had to pivot to doing. I thought I still had a different card in here. That's fine. That's fine. It's good. It's fine. A little nervous. It's good. All right. I need to increase the number of creatures I have. I can cast that while I'm attacking in to reduce their blocking power. But I can't do another because they still have Dust Bowl up. And I need to make sure I'm keeping both the black sources up. Wait, they did hit it. Oh. I thought that they had left the hoof. Now, one sec. Now I have to figure out what I'm doing again. Because they hit the creatures I was going to take out. Going for Lumra, if I had any of my landfall pieces, would be so sick. Oh, I've clicked on Azula 3 times. Watch me fumble. Yeah, with the Rogue's Passage, I think they'll be able to get there. Yeah, I was trying to pivot to go to Hoof. That's why I was saying, oh, I shouldn't have cloned the Azula. Help. Uh-huh. X equals 5. I don't care. Only got 2 up after that. What do I draw? The Boingo! Wait, have I not played a land for a turn? Oh, it looks like I hadn't. Is there anything I could tutor for that is 0 mana that I would care for here? For creatures? No, I cannot meaningfully bolt that in. I can bounce Ulamog. But right now, they're still able to make the land into an unblockable creature. Well, the biggest creature they have is 3 damage. So it would have to turn it into Lair of the Hydra, then pump it, and then activate it. Awkwardly navigated, but navigated nonetheless. She's just like watching me fumble. How'd I get rid of the Emrakul? They exiled it from their graveyard. Untapping Lotus Field. Here's Lumra. Kind of surprised they didn't lead with Lumra to see if they could get a better creature in the graveyard on the small mill. They have these cards. Okay, do I have a way to kill? I have a way to bounce. I have a way to kill this. And I still have Yarok in place, so it gets doubled. And I also have Speaker. Okay, Speaker. Speaker, what do I got? I know I got better stuff than this, probably still in the deck somewhere. Speed Brood, that's pretty good. That gets rid of both of those very, very, very nicely. All right, what else do I got? No Crab Demon in this deck. If you want to focus purely on crime, you could absolutely put in a Crab Demon. I'm trying to think if there's anything I could do here that is fast. Apologies, opponent. Now they have the Ulamog in the graveyard, which they could make the unblockable copy of. Which is why we're going to be using the Bones and clones of Bones. It doesn't really matter. Elemental. I only want to copy it once. Though I could do it twice. No, I don't need it twice. Full control mode does go on. We're grabbing creatures. This is the other one. And this is the new one. Great. Yes. We attack. It's lethal. Woo! Man, I'm bad at playing my own decks. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars, and thank you to Brandomino for requesting Yarok. I hope that you enjoy this brew. I thought it was a really fun excuse to get to play with the new elemental incarnations, and I think the deck turned out pretty fun. You can definitely make this deck spikier, taking out some of the more enter the battlefield related stuff and actually just adding more Sultai good stuff, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for enter the battlefield triggers. And I would say that this deck, the thing that you could definitely add is more crime. If somebody were looking to add more Sultai good stuff, I would say that you can add things like Opposition Agent, you can add in your Psychic Frogs. There are so many cards in these colors, especially if you move away from this Landfall package I have in here, that are so generically good that you don't need to synergize with the commander. You don't need to synergize with other cards in the deck. All you need to do is play them because they're good and hard to deal with. There's also more extra turn cards and things in this deck, though this deck is actually running a way to take infinite extra turns. It didn't come out in this video. If we have Nashi and Essence Flux and like Yarok out, we can just temporal manipulation. You can also add things like Displacer Kitten into this deck. I would not, because this deck is almost entirely creatures. But if you move it away from being mostly creatures, yeah, you can add that in. Like right now, there are 50 just about creatures in this deck, which is way more than most decks. I was actually considering adding Omori as a companion to this deck to just be like, hey, you know what this deck is? Creatures. Why? Because I don't care about non-creatures. I care about creatures entering the battlefield and doing dumb stuff. And that's exactly what these do. So, very fun deck. You can find it in the description of the video. And thank you again to Brandomino for requesting it. If anybody else would like to have me brew a deck for them, you can join the member program as a big dog. There should be a link for that in the description, or just like joining the membership program. I had 2 more people join actually recently, and I will be brewing decks for both Tergrid and Feather. So if you're looking forward to those commanders, they are on the way. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.